Welcome to the Accomplished Brain podcast, where we share our passion, knowledge, and experience about the brain and health.
Welcome back to the Accomplished Brain podcast, where we explore and discuss brain health, neurological disorders, and other current health topics. Today, we're going to talk about balance, and I think it's something that for healthy people is certainly taken advantage of. There's balance in regards to sports performance, where we think of how quickly can somebody shift on one foot, can keep themselves upright, so on and so forth. But then there's also balance that a lot of people suffer from managing properly. And so we think of something most commonly as vertigo, where if you turn your head too quick or you get up too quick, all of a sudden you get dizzy and the perception of the world is swimming by you. So common things are most common we know of is vertigo. You can also get balance issues from simple things like migraines. You can also have issues from Meniere's disease, which sadly we still don't know enough about. There's a lot of talk of it about being a sodium balance issue. There can be a tumor, a brain tumor can cause issues like that. Concussion is a very common thing, throws off the brainstem, throws off the functionality of the cerebellum. And then there's also something called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which is also something that is to be more explored, but it's commonly a herpes infection that affects cranial nerves and in turn affects balance. So those are things that we're going to kind of be diving into today, and Andrew's going to break down the pathology aspect of where does balance come from and how we look at it and how we apply the treatment aspect to it.
Great, Jeff. Well, that was an incredible introduction, and I'm so excited today to be discussing this topic of balance. And the reason being is because I think um, one of the markers that I look at almost all the time working with a client, whether they have a concussion, traumatic brain injury, stroke, Parkinson's, movement disorders, well, obviously balance disorder is going to have a balance problem, but almost all these other areas, kids with ADHD, kids with special needs, autoimmune clients who have autoimmunity. I am always one of the most important things that I see out there is always checking someone's balance, because I feel that balance, like some of the other things that I'm looking at, like eye movements or coordination or watching people walk, looking at their head posture, balance is right up there in giving me a marker of how well their brain is functioning. Also, balance is important to see as we give them exercise. So, an example, someone's coming in for sleep, someone's coming in for, focus, attention, and memory. We're still looking at their balance, because balance is really an overall, again, of how well their brain is functioning. And it's also a marker that we could see that as their balance gets better, we know that they're responding in a positive way to the brain exercises or the specific customized brain exercise program that we're giving to them. So it's really an incredible topic today, very important. I did want to share that one of the big things, especially so balance is important at all ages. Balance is important with athletes, okay? And I'm going to go into why balance is important with athletes. I'm going to go into the balance system itself. I'm going to go into I want to talk a little bit about today that, at all ages, especially people that are 65 and older, that one of the important things is decreasing their risk of falling. You see a lot of people that at that age of 65 and above, that their risk of falling increases. So being able to look at their balance, do a balance test, and being able to give them a very customized program to help them, is extremely important. And again, we're going to have a treat today, because as always, we go into application of how to help. And one of the things we've developed over the with my brain exercise software is specific programs that will help the balance system. So really, we got a really good treat today. So Jeff, before we go into some of what is balance, what are the systems that help balance, do you have anything to to add before I kind of get into this?
Yeah, I just think I'm excited to go into a little bit of the balance part from the athletes, because I think it's more of than just what's going on between the ears. But I also think it's really important to note that um, healthy people kind of take for granted walking down the stairs, right? And why is that a balance thing? Well, because walking down the stairs is how you're perceiving, right, the world around you. Going to movies that have flashing lights and a lot of movement, so on and so forth with the camera. Going to concerts, all of those things that healthy people just think, well, that's a normal part of life. Well, there are a lot of people out there suffering from vestibular apathy and all different sorts of aspects that just can't enjoy those regular things in life. And that's what's so important about the therapeutic aspect of this, is you're really just trying to get people to enjoy their quality of life. So I think it's important to be noted is how much we take that for granted.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think one of the things I think Jeff and I have enjoyed of working in the neurospace, whether it's concussion, traumatic brain injury, stroke, Parkinson's, kids with ADHD, movement disorder, balance disorders, kids with special needs. We've been People have memory, sleep problems. What we've enjoyed is a lot of these cases that it really affects their everyday function to the point where really notice it. And then what happens is when they're everyday, when they could come and see a practitioner, whether it's us or somebody else, again, we really focus on what we do. And we also say there's a lot of really good practitioners out there. But they come in, they see us, and we're able to give some kind of program that's very customized but very simple to them, and they could restore some of those functions, whether it's improvement of the memory, whether it's improvement of the balance, whether it's their headaches are gone, whether it's their focus or attention is improved, whether it's their sleep is improved, their anxiety is less. They really notice that, and they really appreciate. Well, I think all clients appreciate their therapist, but even greater because these functions that they lose, it really affects their everyday life. And then when they get that, when they can get that, they can get that function back, I think their appreciation is even greater. And I think I think they're just more aware of, wow, something, wow, this was out and this really affected me. I couldn't sleep. I've been sleeping 3 hours a night. I've had a headache, or I just couldn't remember things or process things, or my attention, my focus, or, I just didn't feel steady on my feet. When those things improve, they just, we feel great because obviously we've impacted them, and they just, they feel so great working with us and doing, our program. It's just such a great feeling. So I just wanted to share that.